Welcome to The Eagle. Here we explore the complex world of corruption and the innovative solutions to combat it. Today, our focus is on the critical aspect of anti-corruption efforts, vomit what you have swallowed, asset recovery as an anti-corruption tool. Corruption steals more than just money. It undermines trust, erodes institutions, and deprives citizens of their rights. But what happens when the corrupt are caught and their ill-gotten gains are seized? Can these seized assets be returned to their rightful owners? Well, the phrase, vomit what you swallowed, is a stark reminder that corrupt individuals must relinquish their unlawful gains. Asset recovery is a powerful tool in the fight against corruption, but it's a complex and often challenging process. In this program today, we will delve into the world of asset recovery, exploring its successes, challenges, and implications. We will also speak to an expert in the field. Aisha Muhammad is my name. Presenting with me today is
Abbas Abubakar Umar. Glad to have you join us as we examine the crucial role of asset recovery in the global fight against corruption. The Network of National Anti-Corruption Institutions in West Africa, NATSIWA, and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, announced its 6th Annual General Assembly theme, Implementing the ECOWAS Protocol on the Fight Against Corruption towards Strengthening Institutions for Regional Unity. The event is scheduled to hold from Monday 19 to 21st August 2024 at the ECOWAS Secretariat, Abuja. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief host, Ola Olukoyede, Executive Chairman, EFCC and President NATSIWA. Guests are expected to be seated by 9 a.m. prompt. Announcer Wilson Uojaren, Director, Public Affairs Department, EFCC.
Before we get into the topic of the day, major events happened at the EFCC headquarters that deserve a mention here. One of such is the visit of the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Nelfund Akintunde Soya, who came with his management team on a courtesy visit to the EFCC headquarters. During the visit, the Executive Chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his initiative regarding the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, describing it as a policy issue to tackle corruption. Ojochokutame Eche was there and reports.
Olukoyede pointed out that the inability of many parents to fund the education of their children had always been a predisposing factor of corruption, making students vulnerable to all forms of economic and financial crimes. So, with NELFund's intervention through the president, inducement to corruption would no longer stand. The EFCC boss called on the management team of NELFund to be sensitive to the trust reposed in them, warning that the EFCC would leave no stone unturned to achieve transparent handling of the fund. Olukoyede further explains that his desire for accountable handling of NELFund was informed by passion for transparency and not as a result of threat of any kind. He vowed that the EFCC would do everything to prevent the relooting of the fund and called on Nigerians to rally round the management of NELFund to ensure that the scheme succeeds.
We are working together. The work you do also to reduce corruption in Nigeria and cybercrime. So you must have that at the back of your mind. That's why we don't have any choice than to support you. And that's why if you are going to support you, your hands must be clean. And other members of the team as well. And also you must ensure that your systems and processes are very transparent. That's very key. They're very transparent. You might have initiated the process along the line. There are people who are waiting to initiate it, trust me. Along the line, whether within or outside, both front end and back end. So we are going to work with you. I believe you have credit or disbursement committee or department. I'm going to assign one of my staff to you to work with you.
In his remark, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Nelfund Akintude Sawyer explained that Nelfund was a laudable program designed to provide funding for education of indigent students. He decried the neglect of youths over the years, which made them to be backward in their educational pursuit.
We, as an agency of government, have taken the view that we want to be the most transparent agency of government. We want everybody to see what we're doing, how the funds are being spent, where it's going, because we believe that we have an opportunity here to actually become a beacon of what we want to be the new Nigeria in terms of our attitude, our orientation, and things that we aspire to be as a nation.
Sawyer appreciated the EFCC for the 50 billion naira injected into Nelfund from the proceeds of crime recovered by the Commission. Ojo Chokutami Eche, reporting for The Eagle.
The engineering and computer science students of City Polytechnic Abuja visited the EFCC headquarters on an academic pursuit, who were received by the Executive Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Ola Olukoide. He said that the Commission is working hard and tirelessly to secure their future from the grip of fraudsters who are bent on tarnishing the image of the country and ruining the future of the next generation. Mardia Umar was present and brings us this report.
Speaking through the head, Creative Communications Unit CCU of the Commission, Assistant Commander of the EFCC Chris Olukoide stressed that the anti-corruption disposition of today's youths was the only thing that would open up the future for the whole nation. He stated that the EFCC is working for all Nigerians and working tirelessly to secure the future of the younger ones by educating them and encouraging them to stay away from crime and owning the fight. According to him, the two major issues the EFCC is tackling are economic and financial crimes, explaining that an economic crime is any crime that is against the economy of the country, while a financial crime is any crime that you can use any financial instrument to commit, and probably through financial institutions and designated non-financial institutions.
I'm sure you want to come and learn one or two things that will benefit you. One, to help you, first of all, not to engage in any untoward behavior, any corruption-related behavior, but also to solicit your serious engagement, your buy-in, a kind of your involvement in the anti-corruption fight.
The head Public Interface Unit of the Commission, Tony Orilade, in his paper titled How Youths Can Avoid the Temptation of Internet Fraud, charged the youths to stand for the right thing and avoid temptations of cybercrimes and be good citizens of the country. He stressed that youths particularly have a major role to play in promoting transparent and accountable governance, including advocacy in tracking budget performance, urging them to take advantage of the whistleblowing policy in Nigeria, which was launched on December 21, 2016 by the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Finance. He further stated that the whistleblowing policy is an anti-corruption program that encourages people to voluntarily disclose information about fraud, bribery, looting of government funds, financial misconduct, abuse, embezzlement of government assets, and any other forms of corruption or theft against the Nigeria's government.
We are aware of the consequences of internet fraud. Understand the legal and moral implications of engaging in internet fraud. Once you are involved, you are arrested, you are prosecuted, you have lost a lot of chances as a Nigerian. All the ambition, all the dreams you have lost it as an ex-convict.
Speaking on the menace of cybercrime, Assistant Superintendent of the EFCC, Ogunjobi Olaleke, said youths are into cybercrimes because of high rate of internal and external pressure for possessions, get-rich-quick attitude, greed, and pressure to support parents and guardians, including low self-control. Also, Cybersecurity Analyst Deputy Director Robert C. Okwa says cyber analysis plays a crucial role in preventing data breaches and cyber threat. Head Enlightenment and Reorientation Unit Aisha Muhammad urged the students to join the EFCC in its fight against internet fraud, economic and financial crimes, and rid the nation of all corrupt elements. Responding, the representative of the students, Veronica Christopher, thanked the EFCC for the opportunity to see things for themselves, adding that they look forward to having EFCC in their school for more enlightenment on the works of the Commission and the anti-corruption messages.
Still on events that took place, the executive chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, has charged students across the country to imbibe the virtues of transparency, accountability and integrity, and to shun all forms of corruption, economic and financial crimes. He gave the charge while addressing the student of Epitome Model Islamic School as a guest lecturer in an event tagged 12th Teenagers Workshop organized by Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society for Teenagers with focus on positioning the youth on the path of anti-corruption lifestyle. Our reporter Amina Kawa has the details.
Olukoyede, represented by the Head Enlightenment and Reorientation Unit of the Commission, Assistant Commander of the EFCC, Aisha Mohammed, stated that transparency revolves around accountability, responsibility, openness, and honesty. He charged the students to keep away from financial vices and explained that the youths are the future of the country and needs to be surrounded by positive influences. The EFCC boss charged the young people to always speak against injustice and wrongdoing whenever they see it committed. Olukoyede explained to the students that the business of the EFCC is to investigate, prosecute cases of corruption, economic and financial crimes, and to prevent them from even occurring. He harped on the need for all to promote accountability, transparency, and integrity in the society so as to have a society that values fairness, justice, and the well-being of all citizens.
EFCC prosecute, prevent, and we investigate. So our prevention is coming to talk to people like you right now, making you aware of things you might be doing that you didn't know is actually corruption. And as I said, it starts from bring 5 naira to school and you go home and say it's 10 naira. Somebody keeps his or her pencil or biro, you pick it, you write your name and put it inside and say that it is yours. It is corruption. So it's not just corruption of the big people in offices that we keep catching, or the Yahoo boys. It's not just them. Even individually in our little corner, what are we doing? Stealing from mommy's pot meat is corruption. Lying is corruption.
Also speaking at the event, Chief Superintendent of EFCC, Catherine Ogechi Okeke, urged the students to join hands with the Commission in the anti-corruption fight to make Nigeria a better place for all. And Deputy Superintendent of EFCC, Abbas Abubakar, charged the students to embrace integrity as their moral compass in all they do. Speaking on behalf of the management of the school, Hajia Rafat Salami thanked the EFCC for the engagement with students and the good working relationship the school has with the Commission. Amina Kawa reporting for the Eagle.
Thank you for staying with us on the Eagle. And going back to the topic of the day, which is on the critical role of asset recovery in the fight against corruption, let's move to our chat room where Miracle Chukwu Agoziem is with an expert in this field to discuss the topic, Vomit What You Have Swallowed, Asset Recovery as an Anti-Corruption Tool. Over to you, Miracle.
Asset recovery is a crucial tool in the fight against corruption, allowing government to reclaim stolen assets and hold corrupt individuals accountable. It also involves collaboration between government, law enforcement agencies, and financial institutions to to track and recover stolen assets. Today, I have with me ACE1 Deborah Okukwe-Oni, the Head of Investigations, Lagos Zonal Directorate of the EFCC, who will be talking on the topic, Vomit What You Have Swallowed, Asset Recovery as Anti-Corruption Tool. You're welcome, Deborah.
Thank you for having me.
So what is asset recovery in corruption-related terms?
Thank you. Asset recovery can be described as a process whereby entities and non-state entities work to recover assets that have been illegally gotten through corrupt practices. I would like to say that asset recovery is in 3 steps. First is the step of identifying the assets, you trace it, you locate it. The second steps involve you freezing that asset if it's funds, seizing the asset if it's a property or a building, and thirdly, it's recovering that asset and returning it back to the legitimate owners or victims of the crime.
When are assets meant to be recovered?
So I take, for instance, when investigation starts up and you discover that the funds are being moved to purchase assets, either moved to an account, it's at that point you know that these assets are supposed to be recovered, because you ensure that they are taken over and put under proper government takeover, so that if it's funds, they are not dissipated by the suspect. If it's a property, you ensure that these properties are put under investigation so that they are not sold and the victims can be restituted.
So how does the Commission effect these recoveries, and how has it helped in the corruption fight?
Okay, I must say that before you start up any asset tracing, it has to come with a successful, credible intelligence, whereby you are sure that you've gotten an intelligence that a fraud has occurred and verifiable. Afterwards, it goes into investigations. So during the course of investigations, you discover that funds have been moved to some accounts, funds have been moved to buy properties, to buy lands and all of that. At that point, we take over that assets. We ensure that they are under takeover by what? First, if it's an account, we place a lien or a post-note debit on those accounts so that the funds will not be dissipated, and will follow through to the court to get a freezing order for that asset. As per, if it's a property, we ensure that that property is clearly marked. This property is under investigation. If it is Lagos, we state the codes, we state the section that is actually investigating that case to ensure that the public are aware, so they stay away. We don't stop them. We go as far as going to the courts to attach that property for the course of investigation and before prosecution.
So how do you think these recoveries has helped in the fight against corruption?
Okay. These recoveries have helped in the fight against corruption by strengthening the confidence of the public. You know, if you are an individual and you discover that if my funds have been stolen by a corrupt or a fraudulent person and the EFCC will go after them, you have this confidence, you have this trust. So it helps to rebuild the trust of the general public. Also, it acts as a deterrent. Before you involve yourself in fraud, you have to count the cost. If I get this money and I put it to properties and to different things, you know at the back of your mind that EFCC will come after you. Whatever it is, you'll be forced to vomit it out.
So how do you define the phrase, vomit what you have swallowed, in the context of asset recovery?
That phrase is a metaphorical expression that is used to describe a process whereby corrupt individuals are forced to give up that which they have stolen during the course of getting it in an illegal means. So anything you have gotten by corrupt practice or illegitimate means, be sure that you be compelled. As EFCC staff, will make sure that we compel you. We're actually purging you of that crime. Those things you have stolen without anybody knowing, by the time it gets to us, we investigate. Then you'll be compelled to bring up those things and we'll restitute it back to the legitimate victims or legitimate people who own it or victims of that crime.
So, going with the mandate of the commission that has to do with investigations and possibly the recoveries we are talking about, what effort has the commission or EFCC made so far in recovery of stolen assets? And are there any notable cases that has come to your mind?
Oh, yes. So I would say that the commission has a litany of recovered assets. If you go to our various zonal directorates, you see assets that have been recovered, cars, buildings. If you go to our website, you see all of them posted there. You know, we can say it over and over again that the commission is the only hope of a common man.
How do you think the public can help the commission asset recovery process?
So the beauty about this is that EFCC has even gone further. They brought up an app, an Eagle Eye app, where you can let us know this without being seen, without having to interface with you. So your identity is being kept. We don't get to know this, but we get to know the information and we verify it, and an investigation is caused. So if I employ the public, that whenever they see something, they say it, they let us know. Also, they should support us when we go out for conference, when we go out for public engagement. I want the public to support us. I need them to join us. You see, if the public buys it, if you own these facts, EFCC, you join us to fight this thing called corruption, Nigeria will be free of it. We'll be free from this scourge called corruption. So I implore the public, join us, own it. Let everyone who sees something say something. Then we have a corruption-free country.
Final words or message to the public?
I'd like to say that asset recovery is an indispensable tool in our anti-corruption arsenal. I would also like to say that we as law enforcement, we have been saddled with this responsibility to ensure that every asset that has been stolen via illicit means will be gotten. Say no to illicit crime. Say no to every form of enrichment that is not genuine. If it appears too good, it's not real. Wherever you are, EFCC will get you anytime, any day.
That concludes our discussion on the topic, recovery as an anti-corruption tool in the fight against economic and financial crimes. As the guest has done more justice to this topic, join hands with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to rid the country of corruption and economic and financial crimes. My name is Miracle Chukwuagozemwok. Back to the studio for the rest of the program.
Aisha,
Yes,
from this interview, the message is simple.
True.
Everyone must have to stay away from any form of corruption and economic and financial crimes.
Yes, Abbas. We've seen how this powerful tool can help reclaim stolen assets, disrupt criminal networks, and bring corrupt individuals to justice. Asset recovery is a complex and ongoing process that requires international cooperation, political will, and public engagement. And we should all play our part. When you see something, you say something so that the EFCC would do something about it.
You must be greedy. Yes. That's why you always fall for that 100% return on investment offers. Do you have money to invest? Are you busy and looking for where to put your money? Do you easily fall in love? Do you find time to fact check the information and business offers that you get? Okay, I want you to listen. Businesses, ideas, and good juicy offer does not come easy, and of course you cannot get 100% on such a short period of time. If actually it does exist, they won't tell you about it. So I want you to understand that those fraudsters would have been out of business if not because of you, because you hardly find time to check the details. You are being swooped by their amazing offer. Now, you need to put them out of business. When you have a business proposal, check it, find time, and if you don't or don't have the time, do not invest. Be at alert, be careful.
And that's all for this edition of The Eagle. We will be back next week with another engaging episode. Let's keep the conversation going. Send us an email at info@efcc.gov.ng or call us on 0809 3322644. Also follow us on Facebook, X formerly Twitter, and Instagram at official EFCC. If you notice or suspect any economic and financial crimes happening around you, just simply use EFCC mobile app Eagle Eye to report, write about it, or simply take pictures and hit the submit button. And you can be sure that the EFCC will take up the matter immediately. It's never been easier to report economic and financial crimes happening on the go.
Let me invite you to a live discussion with the EFCC on EFCC Connect, happening on Twitter Spaces and Facebook every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Do you have burning issues, questions to ask EFCC? EFCC Connect is the right platform to do so. And also listen to EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, the voices against economic and financial crimes. I am Abbas Abubakar Umar.
And I am Aisha Muhammad. We must continue to push for greater transparency, accountability, and innovation in the country. And to those who have suffered at the hands of corruption, we say your voices are heard and your rights will be restored. To those who have enabled or engaged in corruption, we say you will be held accountable and you will vomit what you have swallowed. Join us next time on The Eagle as we continue to shine light on the darkest corners of corruption and explore the solutions that can bring about a brighter future for all. Until then, stay vigilant, stay informed, demand justice, be kind to yourself and to others around you, and do enjoy the rest of the week.